My mentor can sense my strange feelings. John said it was time he took me to meet Vance. We drove out to the countryside and eventually pulled up to an old farmhouse. I stepped out onto the gravel driveway, and I was nervous. I had been working under John for about a year at this point. He was a good mentor, but I was starting to feel these strange urges whenever I was around him. At times I wanted to kill him, and I don't know why. I never told him, but I had a feeling he could sense it sometimes. Maybe that's why he took me out here to meet Vance, to help me get over my negative feelings. We entered the house into the dim hallway, me trailing behind John. The stairs creaked as we made it up to the second floor. John stopped in front of a door. He gestured for me to enter first. I walked through the door and saw Vance sitting in an armchair in the corner. He was an older man with graying hair, and he wore a serious expression. On his lap was a wooden box. He looked up at me. "You must be Cal, John's newest protege." "I am. You were brought to me because you have something inside you, something undesirable." He lifted the lid of the box to reveal a shimmering golden blade. "And we have no choice but to cut it out of you." The door slammed behind me, and I heard a lock engage from the outside. I ran to the door and started banging on it with my fists. I turned around. Vance stood, holding the knife in his right hand. "Do not struggle," he groaned. My heart was pounding. I was cornered, the blade's point holding me hostage. Before I could make a move, Vance lunged the tip of his dagger screaming toward me. I felt a chill run across my abdomen. I looked down. The dagger had pierced my gut, but there was no blood or pain, only this cold sensation. Then wisps of smoke began to flow from the wound. Vance had stepped back. The smoke poured out and swirled around the room. In the fog, I saw a figure materialize in the center of the room. Just then, the door flung open behind me, and John entered with a burning torch in his hand. He shoved me aside and approached the figure in the middle of the room. He swung the torch, and there was a great flash of light that blinded me for a moment. When I regained my vision, everything was back to normal in the room, but I felt different, as if a weight had been lifted off my shoulders. John walked over to me. He put his hand on my shoulder. "I'm sorry for deceiving you, Cal. I'm sure you understand." I nodded. "Come, apprentice," he smiled. "Now that we've gotten rid of your conscience, it's time to find our next victim."